Yo, what up? Bring it in, come on. How have you been doing? You did that thing earlier today, right? Dude, you promised! You said! I hope you guys have been good. I've been pretty good myself. I've been pretty busy, but it's been a good kind of busy. As you know, I started my first semester of school and I enrolled in 5 classes. I'm majoring in psychology and my classes are like the Introduction to Language Arts, which is just like a college seminar, pre-calculus, sociology, psychology, and English. The only class that has been giving me any struggle is pre-calc. The classes don't really seem to do it for me. I've maybe learned a couple of things, but I pretty much am doing complete independent study for that. It's kind of the only time I've ever actually had to study for something, at least in the realm of academia. I guess I could argue that like I've studied games and certain things in a similar way where it's very much just breaking it down until you understand the systems of it. It's been good for me. It's been difficult, but it has been good. I appreciate what it's been doing for me. So the main purpose I wanted to record today is I got an email from somebody and it asked a question that I talk about a lot on my stream, but I guess this is a very concise way to sort of deliver my opinion to you guys. Sorry if this is intrusive, or if you've been asked any questions in this email a million times. I hardly reach out to anyone myself. I've been mostly following you on YouTube for years between your Mario 64 hacks and your Wind Waker races. Blame Joel and his shoutouts. Me on the way to get Joel. Me and my homies on the way to get Joel. That one goblin guy in the group. I took a year break from your channel just to see so much has changed with you for the better. And my fiance has too. Between your weight loss and your studying, you really seem to grasp what you wanted out of yourself. My fiance has a hard time. She is currently applying for her CPA. She passed all exams the first time, which is incredibly rare. She has a master's degree in accounting. She has helped me in a lot of ways, but has been in a heavy funk for the last few years. And even though she has been seeing professionals, it doesn't seem to be enough. I know this may be strange, but I was wondering what words of encouragement you can offer to really take the bull by the horns, to conquer anxiety and depressions and really grasp what you want out of life. Also, if it isn't asking too much, she is starting her own weight loss journey and can use some tips. Please continue to be who you are so we can all avoid gay baby jail. ELJ your way to victory with the studying. Yours truly, a normally silent observer. I mean, that's a brutal position. Being somebody that has already gotten their master's degree and has all this capability and credentials and still feeling a sense of aimlessness is going to come with like a giant wall of pressure that is honestly hard to imagine. Because the sense of pressure that you feel is going to be absolutely amplified. The potential that you have in your mind is amplified as well. I'm sure a lot of people can empathize with the position of believing that you can be so much more and still be at the ground level. Now before I super get into this, in case you've never heard me speak before or you're new to the channel, I want to sort of establish where I'm at right now. I'm currently majoring in psychology, but a lot of this conversation is about ideologies and stuff. And I do believe I have a great sense of discipline. I used to weigh 350 pounds, was able to bring that down to 180 towards the end of last year, and since then I've been in the gym and I've brought myself up to about 210 with a lot of muscle gain. So I do understand a thing or two about discipline, but with that in mind, I am by no means a professional, understand that anything I say might be with a grain of salt, and I'm currently going to school to round up my biases, but I still have whatever biases I have. I think ultimately step one is always to address any aimlessness that you have and to create a concrete goal. Even if you're the most capable person in the world, even if you're a super genius, it's going to be really hard to enact a plan if you don't know what that plan is. You have to map out who it is that you want to be, flesh out what it would mean to be your best self, and route it out in reverse. Spend much time being as honest with yourself about what it is that would make you the happiest, what would make you fulfilled, what would allow you to be financially free, and spend time actualizing the amount of effort that goes into becoming the person and breaking down the major fundamentals. Your health, your career, your relationships, personal development, anything that you can no longer avoid to become the person you want to be. If you can fundamentally get your mind to live through the lens of your best self, live life as if you already are what you imagine every day, and be 100% honest and self-accountable with yourself the way you would be with your role model, you will become whatever it is you want to be. Maybe you have a loved one in your life that you would do anything for, whether it be a parent, a friend, family, whatever. A force that draws you to your potential, you must create that relationship with yourself. One where you are the person that you can't fail. You're the person that you cannot disappoint. Like, you're the person that you cannot fail to protect no matter what. And you have to reframe the way that you see the being you control as the precious and limited and deserving of your full effort to give them the best life that they deserve. Sorry, I thought that was funny. I can't in good faith recommend a diet to an entire audience, but you really should speak to a dietitian or a nutritionist to get what's best for you. With that said, the biggest factor that is going to actually start to allow you to lose weight is the consistency and the discipline. Get a plan on paper that you can follow every single day and understand that there is no world where I'm going to deviate from this plan. I am going to be somebody that's super duper healthy. I am willing to say goodbye to the things that have made me unhealthy, at least for a temporary amount of time, until I get to my goals. And then when I do get to my goals, we'll explore whether or not I even want to dip back into those goods to begin with. So you make the plan. And then the next step is like, okay, well, actually sticking to the plan is where I'm struggling. And I found that in my own practice, the effective way to do this was to imagine and understand who my future self is going to be and then work it out in reverse. I needed to have a one-to-one understanding with the person that I was projecting inside of my mind and the person that I actually am today. Because the two people cannot coexist without some level of dishonesty in my mind. So if that person is somebody who weighs 200 pounds and they can run 6 miles, it's not about just imagining yourself as somebody who accomplished goals. You have to imagine yourself as somebody who struggled through those goals. You have to imagine yourself as somebody who earned what they got. And as you're imagining it, there's a lot of apprehension that comes towards it. There's a lot of fear. You know what it feels like to run on a treadmill, and it's like so devastating. You're like, oh my God, how can I make myself do that over and over again? Well, that's exactly what it takes. Like, you make yourself do that over and over again, and that starts in the mind well before it starts in the actual physical process. And when you get yourself out there and do it through sheer will alone, and you don't have a physical connection with the activity you're doing, you go there once, you give it your best, and struggle or not, even if you left feeling proud, it doesn't resonate with you enough in your identity that you go back again because you haven't made it part of your identity. It's only somebody who has it as part of their identity in some meaningful way that they're going to be able to go there every single week. When somebody is now devastated and heartbroken from a relationship and they start going to the gym, it's not because of some fad that they picked up. It's because a core part of their identity has been struck in such a way that their new identity needs something to alleviate the difference. But you don't have to undergo trauma to nurture a new positive sense of identity. It's something that you can work on and build up over time. You do it through reaffirming yourself and your interests. You do it through communicating with the person that you are in the mirror. And you do it by slowly and surely enabling in your own mind that this interest is core to your identity as opposed to something you're trying to force yourself to. It's not just enough to think, it's going to be cool if I'm healthy. You have to think like, wow, it's gonna be fucking cool if I'm somebody who can go out there and make myself suffer for the bigger picture, for the better good, for my goals. There's no expectation to be perfect at it. Go out there and do literally anything that's more than nothing, and you have won. But then practice having that conversation with yourself. Think and talk about some of the things with yourself in the mirror that you wish you did while you're there. Think and talk about how hard it's gonna be when you tackle it again the next time. Make it a proactive effort. It's happening both when you're there and when you're not there. So that's just one aspect, that's the gym. You apply this to the diet as well. You understand what your diet is at this stage. Now you actualize what it means to be that healthy person. You imagine the person who felt hungry, who wanted the things they love the most, and was able to look at it, and with no external force holding you accountable, you were able to go, no, I don't need it. No, it's not enough. In my mind, the idea of that person who practices that level of discipline, they are a role model. Another crucial part of practicing self-accountability is feeling your failures. There are going to be parts down the journey where you do not live up to your expectations, where you do not meet your standard of perfect, and a lot of people will say, oh, that's okay, you're doing good. Yeah, there's some truth to that. You should absolutely celebrate your victories, but you need, in an equal amount, to celebrate your failures. You need to feel the level of disappointment that comes with not living up to your best self, so that you can learn from your mistake, and that next time you can remember that feeling of disappointment, and you can avoid making the same mistakes over and over again. You need to feel your failures in order to get the growth that you're looking for. Otherwise, it is just as ordinary as any other day. Thank you very much for asking this question. These sort of things are always very hard to fit into like a concise little thing, but it does come up on stream a lot. So come on over and ask if you want to hear my perspective. And let me know what you thought of this video, because I do enjoy talking about this stuff, and if you have more questions that you want to hear my perspective on, I would like to share as well. Alright, take care. Brush your teeth, dude. You know how it is. You already know, though.